Hey everybody, this is Paul. I'm out here in Nebraska. Happened to get sent out here for work, so that's fortunate because I am literally a hop, skip, and a jump away from Iowa, so I can get over to the Caucasus and do my part for Ron Paul. I'm making this video just so everyone understands just how important it is that we get out there and build some momentum for Ron Paul, because the time is coming now that we're not going to get another chance. Ron Paul's not getting any younger. Let's not kid ourselves. So we need to get a man like Ron Paul into the office right now. He's got all the right ideas. We just need to get them out in front of the general public. He's polling right now in second place, I believe, in Iowa, and either second or a very close third in New Hampshire. I'd like to see him win Iowa, and I'd like to see him win every caucus and primary, but it's important that these early primaries and caucuses, that we build some momentum so that the media no longer has any excuse for dismissing Ron Paul as some type of a fringe candidate or someone who's unelectable. Too many people, a lot of my friends and family, tell me they love Ron Paul, but they don't intend to vote for him because he can't win, and because that's what the media is telling them. Well, with a mentality like that, that's exactly what will happen. He won't win. So we need to let people know, and it's becoming more and more obvious as he runs higher in the polls, that he is in fact very electable, and that when people hear his message, that they gravitate over to his camp. So let's get out there and do that. The reason it's so important right now is that our economy is in really bad shape. If you listen to Ron Paul, and I think most of us do if you're Ron Paul supporters, understand just how important it is that we stop the federal government, or the Fed I should say, the Federal Reserve, from just pumping more and more money into our economy. Every time something looks bad, they just pump more and more money in to the economy, and for a few days or a week, hey, it looks great, the stock market rises 400 or 500 points, and isn't that wonderful? But ultimately it settles back down, and the money in your pocket is worth less than it was the day before. Ron Paul knows that, and if he can explain that to the American people, then we'll be better off for it. So let's get out there and do that, because we're headed for hyperinflation. I mean, the day's going to come, if they keep doing this, that a loaf of bread is going to cost us $100. I'm not saying it's tomorrow or next week, but slowly but surely, our money's getting devalued every single time the Federal Reserve just pumps billions of dollars into the economy. And to make matters worse, not only did we prop up our own economy and our own banks by pumping billions of dollars into the banking industry after the housing bubble collapse that Ron Paul forecast 8 to 10 years ago that it was going to happen, those bankers never saw the pain. They never felt the pain that the average Joe did, the people that lost their jobs, the people that lost their houses that they may not have been able to afford in the first place because of the artificially low interest rates. But be that as it may, so we did that. The bankers saw the profits, and the normal person like you and me, we felt the pain. So now we thought we did such a good job of screwing up our own economy that when the European Union, Greece in particular, and Spain and Italy, they had some problems, we thought, hey, we'll prop them up too. Contrary to what Ben Bernanke said just a short while ago directly to Ron Paul's face in Congress, that they had no intentions of helping Greece or any other European Union country to handle their financial difficulties. So how that guy can sleep at night is beyond me. How he can look at Ron Paul in the face and not be ashamed of himself is also beyond me. So that's what our government is doing. And if we get anyone other than Ron Paul, God forbid we get 4 more years of Barack Obama, but I don't see much of a difference between Barack Obama and the rest of the Republican candidates. It's just going to be more and more of the same. So we need someone who's going to make some serious changes. Unfortunately, they're not going to be easy, and some of them are not going to be popular. Ron Paul's the only one that has the guts to tell the people what needs to be done, regardless of how painful it's going to be. We can't keep up the welfare state that we have now. It's simply unsustainable. And he's got the guts to tell people that. And he's, as we all know, going to try to cut $1 trillion in the first year, cut 5 government agencies, So it is a very optimistic plan, but no one else even comes close. When they had that super committee and they were supposedly trying to trim $1.2 trillion from the budget, what people didn't understand, and Ron Paul was trying to make them understand, is that they weren't cutting anything. They were simply cutting proposed increases. So all they were trying to do was not increase the federal government's budget as much as they intended to, and they failed at even doing that. So they weren't cutting a thing, and they weren't even able to do that. Nobody was willing to cut back on their proposed increases and the money that they're looking forward to in the future, which is ridiculous because the United States doesn't have any money short of just printing it and printing it and printing it as the Federal Reserve does now. So let's keep that in mind and get out and try to explain to people exactly what Ron Paul's message is, because once people know what that is, he gets overwhelming support, just like you see on every online poll, every online story that gets comments. Ron Paul is overwhelmingly supported, and that's not because, contrary to what some people think, that we're all a bunch of computer wizards who can rig these things and we can vote 1,000 times in all these online polls. It's simply not true. The fact of the matter is that the internet age, the internet generation, are the people that are looking towards the future, have the intelligence maybe and the computer savvy to be on the internet. What you don't see when you look at these national polls is they're getting the feedback from 80-year-old women like my grandmother, who are sitting by their landline answering the phone and telling them who they like. Unfortunately, a lot of those people don't even make it to the polls. So we have to get out there. That's the one great thing that I can say about all the Ron Paul supporters. We will get to the polls. If we support Ron Paul, we will get there. Half the people that say they're going to vote or support one of the other candidates, half of them aren't going to make it to the polls. So every one of us counts. Specifically, I'm talking to those of you right now in Iowa and New Hampshire. We need to get Ron Paul. The momentum, he needs to come in first, no less than second in both Iowa and New Hampshire. At that point, the media will start to take him seriously. They will have to take him seriously. Then his views will get out in front of the general public, and we will get the president that we so desperately need. Okay, get out there. Ron Paul 2012. Peace.